Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for this new series, Get Unstuck with me. So if you're an OG, you would remember my Mexican beef. I'm about to fully out myself on all of the habits that I have let go of. Come back, not say back. Basically, I have for the last, I honestly feel like I have to say 2 years, completely lost myself. If you guys obviously new to my channel, I am a mum of 2. I have my business, but I've also experienced a shit ton of grief and loss and things over the last couple of years, and also a lot of burnout. And basically this series, I'm just documenting the steps and everything I'm doing to getting back to my healthy and happy habits again. One thing that is I'm really excited about for this series is this isn't another that girl reset. This isn't one of those ridiculously overwhelming, get your life together kind of series. I want to be sharing with you and giving you the steps too, because let's be honest, when you are feeling stuck or feeling like you're in a slump, the last thing you want to do is have this fucking ridiculously long list of areas of your life and habits you now need to just start. Like, it just doesn't work like that. I'm an all or nothing kind of person. For me to be sustainable with things, it has to be realistic. And I am not new to being stuck. 13 years ago, I was in my early 20s and I gained 20 kilos in a year because I treated my body like absolute shit. Of course, I was drinking beer. The only foods I really ate was KFC and noodle box, and I gained 20 kilos in a year, and my mental health was at an all-time low. And before this, I grew up naturally slim. And again, this is actually not at all about the weight, which you'll come to know. It obviously caught up with me. And when you're a teenager and in your early 20s, you're partying, you're doing all the things, but my mental health was at an all-time low. And I previously, before, had tried everything. I thought I tried everything. I would do all these really strict workout routines. I'd be really restrictive with my diet. I wanted to sleep better. I wanted to just feel better, not also just lose the weight, but I just wanted to overall just upgrade my life. And everything failed. And one day, I still remember, I was at makeup school at the time. So before I went to uni, then I went to makeup school because ADHD, multi-passionate kind of girl over here. And I saw a picture of myself and I did not recognize myself. I truly was like, who is that person? And I went home that day and I joined the gym. And my husband, Ryan, who was my boyfriend back then, he laughed at me because I'd always tried. I'd go to the gym and then I'd give up, and I was a yo-yo. I was always falling off the bandwagon. So I knew I had to do things so differently because I was just so determined, and I just wanted to completely change my life. I wanted a full rebrand. So what I did was small sustainable steps. And I knew that anything I started to try to do, if I couldn't see myself doing that forever, it's not sustainable and I wouldn't do it. So I've done this before, and fast forward to now, I managed to lose 20 kilos in less than a year, and I had been consistently going to the gym and all these amazing healthy habits for over a decade. When you get stuck, I feel like it can happen so slowly that you don't even notice. So for me, I hadn't realized I was in a slump or stuck or burnt out or any of that until I remember I was at my desk one day, newsflash, I was sitting at my laptop and I just thought to myself, I literally could not remember the last time I laughed, like a proper laugh. And I couldn't remember the last time I had slept properly. And I was like, fuck, I have completely lost myself. As you guys know, I started going to the gym back then, all those years ago, to look a certain way. And then after a while, I realized how good it made me feel. I went that long and that consistent because it just made me feel a certain way. It would get rid of all that extra anxious energy. And then especially as a mum, exercise to me and eating well became even more important because you need the energy to keep up with your kids. And when you're a parent too, you do have to suppress a lot of feelings, and it just became so important. But then, the last 2 years happened. And granted, I only fell out with exercise over the last few months. But for me, when I'm not getting even a walk in, there's something wrong. And the other day, I actually went for my first walk, a proper walk outside, not just to get the kids from school, but a walk outside for the first time in 10 months. Getting out of this mindset and these, when you feel like you've lost yourself, it takes time, and you need to realize that it's not a quick fix. It's not going to be a checklist. It doesn't work like that. And it's so easy to drop good habits. And it's also so easy to start picking up new bad habits and not even realizing. My biggest thing is getting back into the gym. For me, a huge part of who I am is working out. That's my first step. So we're gonna go to the gym downstairs. I'm gonna be extremely weak, but that's okay. You know, life's too short to just be existing. Let's live, hey? I think that's what we need to do. Do this fan. You got your reputation, and now it's found. Oh, look, that speaker died. Which sums up my morning so far. It's okay, it's okay. All right, let's try this again. So with that, I used to be able to do 110 kilos, and right now I'm doing 60. And it is like, it's one of those things like, past Steph would be so frustrated that I can't lift nearly as much as what I used to. But like, wiser Steph, more mature Steph, I see it more like a challenge, and you got to look at it to be exciting. Like if you look at every setback or every time you lose progress, which you don't because you're always learning, if you always see it in a negative way, that's where you're never going to get anywhere, because it's going to be too disheartening. So you got to decide, is a setback or a comeback? I won't lie, like obviously feeling weak, it can be a bit shitty, but it makes me like determined to progress again. So just don't be a wanker to yourself, guys.
I don't got time to be thinking about things we can't figure out. Maybe I'm better off without you and your dirty mouth.
All work, no pleasure. I ain't here to make friends, big stepper. Hey, bad guy, Heath Ledger. Ready for wherever, I'll be front and center. Don't fly too close to the sun, your body chopped up by propellers. Came in arrogant, but left out in the stretcher. The comparison, y'all know y'all.
Some context, I used to do that with 2 10-kilo dumbbells. And now I'm doing it with body weight. I'm gonna do some dumbbells, but I will not be doing what I used to do. Come back, not a setback. 5-kilo dumbbells, let's see how we go.
Chilling in the desert, I'm good under pressure. Stick around, let me hold it down, look at what we found. This a marathon, not a sprint, let's go 100 miles. On the ground, with me to the clouds, never coming down. That's the crown on me, wear it proud, show them what we bout. Stick around. And I put it on seedless, all I got is certified trunk beaters. Charge a couple cool K for the features. It ain't about the money, then you probably can't reach us. And I put it on mamas. Do it for the soul, for the fam and the commas. Don't act, be chill with the dramas. All you gotta do is be you and be honest.
Finished a leg workout. I'm doing a lot lower sets and reps in general, but I'm just glad that I got it done. One big thing I did like 13 years ago, or over a decade ago, when I decided to, change my life, and I lost like the 20 kilos I put on from literally eating shit every day, all day, was because I'm an all or nothing kind of girl, which I talked about before. But I knew if I tried to go to the gym every day like I did before, I could literally do all or nothing. So I was like, no, I'm gonna do 3 workouts a week. And I stuck to that for weeks and weeks, and then I upped it to 4, because it's like, as soon as you put so much pressure on yourself, that's when you're going to crumble. If you can understand that doing things that are sustainable for you, that you can look at it and be like, I can do this forever, and start there, and then you can slowly add on as you go and you get used to it and it becomes part of your life. That's where all that pressure just fucking goes away. And that was the thing that honestly changed my life with everything. Even like the healthy eating, instead of me being like, I need to make everything myself every single day, I needed to like freaking make, I don't know, like green smoothies for breakfast, lunch and dinner, and also have like all these healthy snacks made by hand. Then I've also got to have all these meals. For me, I was like, okay, If I could just have one decent breakfast and maybe like, let's not get takeaway today. And that was my goal. And then it was just taking the pressure off, because fuck, we're so hard on ourselves. You gotta do this because you wanna feel better, not because you wanna lose that extra couple of kilos that, you know, your body just, like for you to lose the last few kilos, you kind of have to miss out on life. So like, that's kind of what I realized after going through this huge health journey, and I'll link my video below because I went too far. And that's where I learned the hard way, because I actually went past my goal weight. I had the 6-pack, I did all this stuff. I was this bikini model, and I was more miserable than what I was when I was 25 kilos heavier, you know what I mean? And it's like, you only get this life once, so why are you crucifying yourself like endlessly to lose that last couple of kilos if that's where you're at in your journey? Like, it doesn't fucking make any sense. When you want to live your life, see your friends, not miss out on events, still eat well and exercise and do what you've been doing, but don't just force things that aren't meant to be forced, you know? Like, there's always discipline and pushing past your comfort levels, but especially when you're a female, our hormones have fucked me. We're like this all month, all over the place. Anyway, I need to get ready because I've got work to do, but I just felt like I would share that because that is one huge thing I learned myself the hard way. I'm about to fully out myself on all of the habits that I have let go of in the last, I don't know, couple weeks or months or whatever. But before I get into that, I kind of want to give you guys a bit of an analogy. I feel like we've all got a flaky friend. You know those friends that say they're going to come for coffee or they're going to do this and that, and then they never do it? Or maybe it's a gym friend. Maybe you've had a gym friend in the past and they're like, yes, I'll see you here at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, you know, if that friend came up to you and said, yeah, Barbara, whatever, I'll be here tomorrow morning. Like, let's go to the gym tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. Are you going to believe her? No. And that's all about trust, but this is really where it comes down to ourselves. Now, you know, all those times you sit there and you swear to yourself black and blue, like, I am going to start the gym Monday, I'm going to eat well on Monday, I'm going to do this, that, and the other, or whatever. And then you don't follow through. That's when you start to lose trust in yourself. And that is honestly where a lot of your confidence does come from. As someone like myself in the past, I literally would break promises to myself all the time. And then I realized it's because the promises I was making to myself were really intense, or I was putting way too much pressure on myself. Like going to the gym 6 days a week straight off the bat when I hadn't been exercising for months or maybe ever. It's kind of like telling someone who's never painted before, I want you to create a masterpiece. Like, mate, let's just buy a couple of paintbrushes first. You know what I mean? And that's where everyone goes wrong when it comes to like getting out of a slump or just starting healthy habits, is you just expect so much from yourself that it becomes so overwhelming, so you don't even start. And then you lose trust in yourself, and then you get angry at yourself. But the fact is, you've just put way too much pressure on yourself. You know what I'm saying? So with the gym 13 years ago, I knew I did that. I used to tell myself, nah, you're going to smash yourself 6 days a week. Never happened. So when I lost that 20 kilos, I was only going to the gym 3 days a week. That was it. And that's all you need. Like, as long as you're doing movement daily, it could be a walk, could be anything. But for me, I knew what was the most realistic thing I could do week to week. And if I got bonus days in, then that's just great. Call them bonus days, because then it feels like you've gone above and beyond, and then you feel even better. But I knew I had to do 3 days a week. So right now, I've made myself a little program. As you guys, if you guys don't know, I'm a PT as well. And I've written myself a program right now because I hadn't exercised for the last, maybe 3 or 4 months. And I've written a program for 3 days a week, but I've added a bonus workout in there because I feel like I might want to do 4, but I'm not putting the pressure on myself for that. Because when you start to lose that self-trust, that's when a lot of people just get very resentful towards themselves. You beat yourself up over it and you think there's something wrong with you. Guys, especially lately, I'm about to go through the habits I've given up over the last few months. Because the reason I'm doing that, it's not to beat myself down. It's just, I guess, to give you guys some insight and make you realize that someone like myself who, yes, I was getting up at 5 o'clock every morning for years, working out for years, even when Nan and Dad passed away, I only had a couple of days off the gym and I was straight back. Maybe not to the gym, but in the garage, just so I didn't have to face people, but I was still moving my body. It happens, and I never want you guys to come onto my page and feel less than, because that's the only thing with social media. As humans, we're not actually meant to be exposed to so many people. We're actually meant to live in little towns or little villages or caves with our little tribe, and they're the only people we're actually meant to know. But instead, we get to see all these people with amazing genetics. Not saying they're all amazing genetics. A lot of people work very hard for their physique. But you know what I'm saying? You get to see the the 1% of people on the internet, and just remember too, and all the other people choose what they want to show. All right, so before I give you guys your first step to help you guys get unstuck with me, I'm gonna just again open up and tell you about some of the habits that I have stopped or started, good and bad. So as you guys already know, I stopped working out. Another habit that really affected me was my sleep. So I've shared these vlogs and things before. I was very strict with my sleep schedule, and I'm a very sensitive human. I'm like a bloody full-grown toddler. So things like light, TV, all that stuff, it keeps me awake. So I completely fell out of my strict bedtime routine, which was getting off my phone by 8:30, overhead lights off by 6. I even cut out caffeine for a year, and guess who's been drinking Red Bull lately? So see what I'm saying? Yeah. So my sleep was shit. And obviously, like, you know, with the whole work situation the last year or whatever, didn't really help that, but I had really strict kind of like focus modes and these settings on my phone that would kind of prevent me from wanting to stop me going on my phone basically past a certain time. I turned them all off. But guess what happened? Start scrolling. I'm a scroller. Doom scroll, not fun, at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So things like that. The reason why I kind of grew on the internet was from my meal prep, my organization, exercise and things like that. But even down to those things like meal prep, I, again, full transparency and disclaimer, it's not what I want to be promoting, but I lost 10 kilos in 2 months from stress. And that's because I wasn't eating. And I'm a big eater, I love food, but when, you know, I was going through a lot, still getting there, but, you know, literally living on just takeaway. Stopped waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and again, my reason for waking up at 5 is because my brain is at its best first thing in the morning, and I love, also, again, disclaimer, my kids sleep through the night. So if you're a new mom, any of that stuff, I wouldn't recommend getting up at 5, unless obviously your baby's crying, you have to get up. But for me, getting up at 5 was my me time, and it really, really did help my mental health. And I'm gonna do a proper, like a full week of us getting up, or me getting up at 5 a.m. again, and how to do that in a way that you're not crashing it at lunchtime. So those are some of the things. And you guys know that I've always kind of had a problem with using alcohol to numb out my emotions. And, you know, I got to a place where I was only drinking for special occasions or a little bit on the weekend. But, you know, I opened up a couple of years ago and I shared that I was having drinks every day, and a lot of people do that, but it really fucks up with your sleep. So I was doing that again. So those are just some of the things. Even like meditation, didn't do that for ages, and it really, really fucks with me. It does, because I know how much it helps. But sometimes when you're in a slump or when you're stuck, you also don't even when you're really deep in it, you kind of don't even care. You're like, I don't even have the motivation to try to change myself. You know what I mean? So this is why I am so big on my approach on how to get unstuck, because it's so important. Anyway, before we move into any action steps, this is the most important thing you're going to do. Before you can figure out or even take any direction on how to get unstuck, the biggest and the most important steps so many people miss, and a lot of people do when they watch other YouTubes and things like that, is they follow the same steps as that person. Just remember, you're living a different life than me. So the steps I'm going to give you guys is going to be steps that's going to be relevant to you. And how to figure that out is awareness. Now, awareness is like your compass. Without it, it's going to be like trying to find something in a dark room. But when you have awareness, it's like turning the light on. Awareness is like having the bloody instruction manual to IKEA furniture flat packs, which most of us probably don't look at until we mess up. I've got some questions, some journaling prompts for you guys. This is so important for you to do, because without stepping back and looking at your current routine as a whole and figuring out, the most important question here is, why are you stuck? Why have you lost yourself? How did you get here? Because if you don't know that, you're not going to know how to get out. I am going to be popping all the questions also in the description below. I don't want you to sugarcoat it. I want you to write your regular everyday routine as it stands right now. And this includes, I don't want you to be writing 7 o'clock wake up. I want you to be writing whatever time wake up, picks up phone, scrolls on Instagram, even logging how you feel. I want you to write down skips breakfast, or like whatever you're doing, good or bad, you need to have it written down. And if you don't have awareness, because you'd be surprised how many people do a lot of these things and they don't have awareness that they're doing it. For the next couple of days, I actually want you to just live as normal, don't change anything, and I want you to write it down. Don't try to be extra good, I want you to be like honest. Because this is where you are going to see some patterns. So for me, I know because I've been up late, I'll get up late and then I'm running late and then my whole day is thrown off, and I write down my emotions. And what I want you to do when you've written it down is I want you to get 2 highlighter colors. One highlighter color is for habits and things you're doing that make you feel good or are good. And I don't want to label things as bad or good because things are different for everyone. For someone, going for a run might make them feel $1 million, but for me, hurts my knees, and also when you already have high cortisol, it doesn't make me feel great, to be honest. So it depends on your mood. So highlight the things that make you feel good, and then highlight the things that aren't making you feel as good or you feel like you should maybe drop in another color. So that's the first step. Now, this is my little SPP notebook with my little cute stickers from Etsy. The biggest questions I'm going to be getting you guys to fill out are things like, what are the biggest sources of stress in my life right now? And are you addressing them or avoiding them? For me, I fully call myself out on this because I tend to be one of my biggest sources of stress because I have the highest expectations on myself. We had a photo shoot this week for SPP. My team is amazing. We have so much fun, but I put so much pressure on myself and it takes the fun out of it. And then when I'm doing it, I'm fine. But literally like a week leading up, I'm shitting myself. It's fucked. Anyway, are there any areas of my life where I feel stuck, unfulfilled, or disconnected? So it could be like relationships, your health. And this is where it leads into this question, which is like, are you living in alignment with your values? Now, if you haven't ever figured out what your values are, that's like a whole other ball game. But your values are the things that obviously you value the most in your life, and it can take a little bit of time to figure them out because a lot of people will be like, of course, family, this, that, and the other, and that's, yes, true. But it's also like sometimes for me, one of my values I didn't realize is freedom. And I think it's because of my childhood. So if I feel like too stuck and rigid, I start to get a lot of anxiety. Another one of my big values is health, and that is because, growing up with a disabled brother, health is so important to me. So when I'm doing things like maybe drinking too much alcohol, or I'm, not just giving my nervous system a fucking minute, or I'm not with my body, like that actually just makes me feel shit. And some days I don't even realize why. Maybe your value is connection, but you're not spending any proper quality time with your family. And when you're with them, maybe you're scrolling, or you're not actually talking. Like maybe you have dinner together, but the TV's on. You know what I mean? Another question is like, what emotions have been the most dominant for me lately? So it could be sadness, anger, anxiety, and then like what is triggering these feelings? Some questions and some of the big things that we're going to be talking about in this series is like hobbies and fun. When we become adults, we stop doing things just for fun. We do things to make money. We do things to get fitter, clean the house, shit like that, or for obviously our kids or loved ones, but you don't just do things for fun anymore. So I actually realized how much I really loved craft again, because as a kid I loved craft and like painting and stuff, and obviously writing's a big one. But when Dad passed away, I needed something just to keep my hands busy because I can't sit still, but something to keep my mind off it. And I got into paint by numbers, and I want to get back into that again. A big question I want you guys to ask yourself is, am I spending time doing things out of obligation rather than passion or fulfillment, and what are they? So what are the things you're saying yes to that you don't want to say yes to, basically? Once you've done this exercise that I've told you, you're going to figure out where the fuck you need to change things. So I keep swearing, but anyway. It is actually Thursday afternoon here at the moment, and one thing I used to love doing, and what really got me going 13 years ago when I overhauled my life and all the things, was I loved making foods that were labeled as sometimes foods healthy. And that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm making my favorite slow cooked Mexican beef burrito bowls, and the kids bloody love it. Right, it's time to cook dinner. Well, I've already cooked the bulk of it. So if you're an OG, you would remember my Mexican beef is the best. It's got like minimal ingredients, super healthy. As I said, like when I can make yummy food healthy, when I say healthy, like look, it's basically just less shit in it. So this one's literally diced beef stock, a can of diced tomatoes, and a packet of taco seasoning. That's it. And I chuck it in the Thermomix for an hour on 100 degrees. But you can do the same in your slow cooker. Just make sure you've got a bit more liquid, so you've like got the meat evenly covered with some liquid, and then put it on. I would even do it for like 5 hours or so. So if you do it on 7 to 8 hours, put it on low, or you can do it, I think it's 3 to 5 hours, or 3 to 4 hours on high. And then you just get some forks and you shred it. But if you use the Thermomix, you can just do that. But I'll give you guys the instructions below. I'm gonna chop up some veggies, get our dinners ready, and get showered and in my pajamas. Another thing I did back in the day when I changed my lifestyle was, not trying to go full on with my healthy cooking. I actually didn't even know what eating healthy was, because back then especially, I sound like I'm an old lady, but there's, you know, there's so much information out there on the internet of like how to be healthy. There's like low fat, there's calorie counting, there's so many different ways. But for me, when I can just do as simple as possible, and I have so many good recipes on my blog that I used to post on every single week, which I really want to revamp and bring back. I'll link that below for you guys. There's so many just easy slow cooker recipes that are healthy for you and the family that the kids will eat. I've got things like healthy enchiladas, like just like yum food. Like even pulled pork, like healthy pulled pork for burgers. Oh, one big thing I would love you guys to do, I don't want you to do it straight away, but I want you to try one new recipe a week. Because when you can do that, you'll start kind of trying new healthy recipes, and then you can start a new like regular rotation for your weekly menu for yourself, your partner, your family. But you only will find these healthy recipes if you try them. And now we have like things like Pinterest, like there's so many places to find recipes. But yeah, there's a lot on my website if you want to find some. My kids are losing their shit. They're in the shower. I usually pair it like as the sour cream. I use the natural coconut yogurt because too much dairy and me don't agree. And now the kids have had it since they were little and they just love it. They call it sauce. And then corn chips. And then you can also do things like iceberg lettuce. You do so much, but we tend to do, the kids will just have cucumber, corn chips, coconut yogurt with the meat, and some mozzarella cheese. And then Ryan and I will have all of it plus cucumber and stuff like that. And it's just such a yummy dinner. It is delicious. And sometimes I like to cook up 2 servings because then I'll have it for lunch the next day. Like I'll literally prep this as a meal prep for lunch, which is what I used to do before I got stuck. So I want to be doing that again this weekend. I also forgot avocado, of course, because avocado is delicious. Avocado is life. First up, kids. We're out of cheese, so sorry kids. You get what you get and you don't get upset. Right, time to make Ryan and I burrito bowls. Let's go. Except this time, usually I'll put some iceberg lettuce in mine, but I'm just gonna do extra corn chips because it's about small steps. So guys, just remember, I was eating like, again, takeaway most nights again. So, this is good. This is good. Small steps. Fun fact, guys, Ryan and I, we actually both hated tomato and onion, but then at the same time we fell in love with bruschetta, which you guys know is literally tomato and onion. And now I just love tomato and onion. It's a good time. Also, another fun fact is Ryan's an old man and he loves Chico babies and rum and raisin ice cream. Don't you, doll? Hey?
Is that for dessert tonight?
He literally likes old man food.
Yeah. You married an old man.
Anyway, Ryan's also trying to get unstuck, aren't you, doll? Trying to get healthy together. Mm-hmm. Which we'll talk about soon.
I just joined the gym again.
You did. There was a new gym open up down the road.
4 weeks time it opens, you know, something to motivate me to get back into it.
Yeah. Because Ryan used to do strongman, which he loved.
Now I'm very weak, man.
It's one of our faves, honestly. Isn't this like, we have this on weekly, probably twice a week I feel like we have this. Oh.
Yeah, we yelled out.
Sorry, dolls. Your dinner's ready.
It's cooling down.
This week's been like really off, hey? Do you feel like that?
I'm stuck.
You're stuck.
Unstick me, Steph.
In the past, I used to have really bad like binge eating habits, and I used to always be like, nah. So I'd eat really strict, so that was not sustainable. And then I'd binge. But instead of me just saying, okay, next meal, I'm just gonna go back to eating foods that make me feel good, I would be like, oh, I'm gonna wait till Monday. And it could be like a Tuesday. So you gotta not have that mindset. Because otherwise you're just waiting every week till Monday. Yeah. And then you're putting all this pressure on yourself to be amazing on Monday. And then Monday comes, and Mondays are usually very stressful for most people. And then you just fall flat on your ass because it's too stressful.
Can I please?
Don't do that. Yes. I said you'd be coconut yogurt.
Oh, okay. Because I'm so hungry.
I'm sorry, we're talking too much. Good morning, guys. Just woke up. One of my biggest things for this you know, getting unstuck for me is sleep, and it's one of my keystone habits, which I'll be talking about in the next vlog, next episode of this, and how to figure out what your keystone habit is and all those types of things. I have had to be really, really strict with my phone use and everything like that again, and also because I've started drinking caffeine, I can't drink caffeine after like lunch really, because very sensitive to all of that. And I'm also on my ADHD medication. Again, on certain days, I had a big break because I was feeling like, sometimes it makes me feel like a bit like a zombie sometimes. But then when I don't have it, I get crippling anxiety from not being able to do the thing, and my brain's really busy. But that's for another vlog. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is, because obviously I'm on stimulants and that, I need to be careful with caffeine. I actually am not really meant to have any caffeine, so that's probably going to be part of my habits as well throughout the series. But please do your routine reviews that I said, do your journaling prompts, everything. I'm using my health journal throughout this for me. This isn't like, again, like not everyone has to do something like this, but for me, because my biggest thing right now is my food, and this also reminds me to take my vitamins and stuff, so I'm going to be using this. But we're not going to get into habits until the next episode, because your habits are going to be really important and you do not want to be overwhelming yourself. Don't forget to get your free download below to help you do your routine review and do your journaling prompts to review, everything that's gotten you stuck in the first place. So then you can then take your next steps, because this first step of, you know, your reflection and your review and like looking into your routine and like how you got stuck in the first place, so then you figure out how to get out, is so bloody important. Anyways, I love you guys, and I'll see you for the next episode. Yeah, love you. Bye.